Oakland or Sacramento? This is an episode you will surely disagree with me at some point. Today, we're getting after it on Locked On A's.
You are Locked On A's, your daily podcast on the Athletics, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name, all passion. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a diehard A's fan since 1981. This isn't just another A's podcast. This is the most informative and insightful show on the A's, period. We cover the A's every single day, breaking down games, delivering the latest team news, and giving you deep, thoughtful analysis you will not find anywhere else. If it's happening in Sacramento or in Las Vegas, we got you covered. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. I attended opening night earlier on this week and took some video, clicked a couple photos, and want to take you through my experience of opening night. That's a bit later. John Fisher, the elusive owner of the A's, who, let's be honest, probably averages fewer public appearances than Bigfoot. And for the first time in what feels like forever, he actually talked to reporters. Well, 4 reporters to be exact. Not exactly a media blitz, but hey, it's something. We'll get to that in a bit. The opening series at Sutter Health Park had so much anticipation since the A's announced they were leaving Oakland for Sacramento last year. The reactions weren't necessarily a positive one with regard to their first series in Sutter Health Park. Maybe it had to do with an uncompetitive series, or was there more to it? And looking back at it, would I rather see the A's in Sacramento or in Oakland? And let me answer that question as honestly as possible. I never, ever want to see the A's step foot in Oakland again. And why the A's should never return to Oakland. And it's a hard truth for baseball fans, but at this point, I can really care less. The departure of the Oakland Athletics to Sacramento has been a seismic shift in the world of Major League Baseball. For decades, the A's were a cornerstone of Oakland's identity, a symbol of grit, resilience, and passion. But as the dust settles on their relocation, it's time to confront an uncomfortable truth. The A's should never, ever play in Oakland again. While Sacramento is not perfect, it lacks the grandeur and vibrancy of other major league cities. It offers something Oakland never could, a chance to rebuild without the distractions, dysfunction, and disarray that has plagued their former home. Oakland's government failed the A's. I've talked about this on numerous occasions. No matter what narrative the Bay Area media or the fans that have been fooled by all of this try to tell you. Let's be clear. This move was not about the fans. It was not about the players. It wasn't even about the A's ownership. This was about failure. Failure by Oakland city government to prioritize one of its most cherished institutions. I'll bring it up again. I've talked about it in the past. SB 289 Skinner was legislation Dave Cavil and Senator Nancy Skinner, who worked closely with then Mayor Livy Schaaf, put together to fund Howard Terminal. This bill was signed into law in late 2019. by Governor Gavin Newsom. The bill was never implemented, never touched until 2021. And sure, we can use and say everything we want as far as COVID having an effect, and I'm sure it did. The first time that this bill was even looked into was in mid-2021, was when Commissioner Manfred started putting pressure on then Mayor Libby Schaaf that Vegas was a possibility. Then Mayor Libby Schaaf got on her horse, started getting things done. Well, supposedly, not really. They hired an outside consulting firm by the name of Century Urban to calculate the subsidy available for Howard Terminal. The consulting firm calculated a subsidy available of $400 million. By this time, then Mayor Tao, before she started robbing from the city, allegedly, came into office, and wanted to get things moving with regard to the A's. But she was busy firing the police chief and everything else she had on her agenda except the A's. But she got to the A's eventually. Unfortunately, Century Urban, when they miscalculated this subsidy of $400 million, no one ever caught it. Not one person caught it. Not one person caught the mistake. And the A's and the city went back and forth, if you remember, for years. Who's going to pay for this infrastructure? Who's going to pay for that? It never ended. Until at the end, if you remember, the city of Oakland finally got their you-know-what together and said, hey, we got you the money. We're only a small gap apart. They're right. They were. You know what that gap was? You know what the miscalculation was? Century Urban, again, the consulting firm, calculated $400 million. It should have been $2.5 billion. Yet, the media doesn't paint a picture like that, does it? They never have had anybody with opposing views in one room. They treated you, the fan, me, like idiots. They said, hey, Mayor Tao was at the head of it. Let's tell the following story to the dummies because they don't understand. Yeah, that's what they thought. That's what they think of you, as idiots. They thought of me as idiots who didn't understand. And they were right. They were absolutely right. I didn't understand. I didn't know about 289 Skinner until about 3 weeks ago. I didn't know about any of this until just a little while ago. I trusted the media. Mayor Tao, Bay Area media, or whoever knew what was going on, it's like, hey, we're in a whole heap of crap. Let's blame it on the billionaire that never really spent money on the A's, that didn't pay his minor league players during COVID. He has a real bad rap. It'll easily shift the blame from what really happened to him, and everyone's going to buy it. It's an easy sell. The idiots will buy it. That's what they thought of you. Idiots. That's what they thought of me. Bingo. They're right. I didn't know about it. Who would pay that much attention or do that much research on it? That's why we depend on the news. So yeah, why is the reason I hope the A's never come back? Because of the fan base, because of an ugly Coliseum, because of a Coliseum that is breaking down? No, because of the Oakland government and a lying, misleading Bay Area media. that tell a narrative in order to get attention, in order to get clicks, in order to monetize and hopefully advance their career. They're not A's fans. They never can care less about the A's. If the next channel hired him to be a sportscaster for the Florida Marlins, they'll be wearing teal and white every single day, whatever their color is. This was a joke, an absolute joke. So no, I do not hope for 1 second the A's ever come back to Oakland. For years, the A's ownership pleaded with city officials to invest in a new stadium or at least modernize the aging Coliseum, which had become an eyesore and a punchline across the league. Instead of action, they received endless bureaucracy, delays, and political grandstanding. That's all it was. Proposals were stalled, funding discussions went nowhere, and every potential solution was buried under layers of red tape. The Howard Terminal project, like I talked about, a last-ditch effort to keep the team in Oakland, was emblematic of this dysfunction. What could have been a transformative waterfront stadium became a battleground of competing interests, environmental lawsuits, and political infighting. By the time any progress was made, it was too little, too late. The A's had already packed their bags. Compounding the issue was the Bay Area media, which consistently skewed the narrative against the team's ownership while giving Oakland's government a free pass. Headlines painted John Fisher and his front office as villains, accusing them of greed and neglecting the fan base. But where's the accountability for city officials who dragged their feet for years? The media clung to a romanticized idea of Oakland as a baseball town while ignoring the harsh realities on the ground. Attendance was consistently among the worst in the league. The Coliseum was falling apart, infamous for sewage leaks and outdated facilities. Fans deserve better than what Oakland was offering, but instead of pushing for solutions, the media doubled down on its scapegoating of ownership. This one-sided coverage only deepened divisions between fans and the team, creating an environment where reconciliation became impossible. By the time Sacramento emerged as a viable alternative, it felt like a breath of fresh air, a chance to escape the toxic cycle perpetuated by both local government and biased reporting. Sacramento is a fresh start. Is Sacramento the ideal home for a Major League Baseball team? No. It lacks the cultural cachet of cities like San Francisco or Los Angeles, and its smaller market sizes raises questions about long-term viability. But what Sacramento offers is stability, a clean slate free from the chaos that defined Oakland's tenure with the A's. Sacramento is a city hungry for opportunity. Its leadership has shown a willingness to work with sports franchises, as evidenced by their successful efforts to keep the NBA's Kings from relocating. While it may not have the same allure as larger markets, it offers something far more valuable: focus. There are no distractions from competing teams or civic dysfunction. The A's can finally build something sustainable without being dragged down by external forces. Let's not sugarcoat it. Oakland is a city with deep-rooted challenges that extend far beyond baseball. Crime rates remain high. Homelessness is a visible crisis, and public infrastructure is crumbling. These issues created an environment where sports often felt like an afterthought rather than a priority. The distractions in Oakland weren't just logistical, they were cultural. The city's fractured political landscape and competing interests made it impossible for any cohesive vision to take root. The Athletics' departure from Oakland is painful for many fans, the real fans, who grew up cheering for the team in the East Bay. But clinging to nostalgia won't change the reality that Oakland failed its team at every level, from government incompetence to media bias to civil neglect. Sacramento represents a new chapter for the A's, a chance to redefine themselves in a city willing to embrace them fully. It may not be perfect, but perfection isn't what the franchise needs right now. What it needs is stability, support, and a fresh start, far removed from the dysfunction that's defined its time in Oakland. So no, I don't want to see the A's return to Oakland ever. Not now, not ever. The wounds are too deep, the bridges too burned. Let Sacramento be their home for now. Let this team focus on baseball instead of battling against forces beyond their control. Oakland had its chance, and they blew it. Now it's time for everyone to move on. Do you remember how many times Mayor Tao was on somebody's podcast supporting the A's, talking to the host like they were best friends, bashing John Fisher, defending the government, complaining, making their case for everything they did? All lies. What was she doing in the background, in the back offices with her consultants, with her closest advisors? Hey, let's tell the idiots, let's tell the dummies that don't understand a thing because they're too stupid, that it was the billionaire's fault, that he did it. And let's get the press to double down on that. They're so stupid, they won't understand. Yeah, I'm that stupid guy, and I bought into it. And you continue to buy into it. And like I have always said, that none of you will ever do. If you ever want a real serious conversation, I'm here. Or have a conversation with an opposing view. You won't. You won't, because you know your narrative has no basis. It has no stance. And you know that myself or anybody else with an opposing view will tear it up piece by piece. And who wants to get in front of that? You're better off behind your keyboard. But hey, invitation's always open. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. Right, let's set the scene. Monday afternoon, sunshine in West Sacramento. John Fisher pops out wearing an old green athletics jacket and hat. He's sitting on top of the team's temporary clubhouse at Sutter Health Park. He starts off by calling opening day, quote unquote, unique and quote unquote hopeful. And listen, I get it. Opening day is always special. But Fisher saying it feels hopeful while sitting in a 14,000 seat minor league ballpark in Sacramento, that doesn't exactly scream hopeful to me. It screams temporary, and it screams downsizing. And it also screams we're trying to put a positive spin on a situation. And frankly, it screams an out of touch owner. Let's talk about what's really going on here. The A's are no longer in Oakland. They're not even officially the Sacramento A's while they are playing in West Sacramento. Nope. They are just asked to be called the Athletics or A's. or ATH if you're into acronyms. And oh yeah, they'll be wearing a Las Vegas patch on their jersey for the next 3 years while they are in Sacramento. Make it make sense. How does that honor the city you are currently playing in? When Fisher was asked about Sacramento locals being upset that the team isn't adopting their city name, his response was basically, hey, it's professional baseball. Isn't this awesome? Look at how intimate the ballpark is. Intimate? Sure. Positive? Maybe for him. But for the fans of Sacramento, this feels like a slap in the face. Sacramento is hosting your team during a time of upheaval. Instead of embracing that community, you're slapping on a Vegas patch, which I do understand and I don't have an issue with. But refusing to even acknowledge the city's name, that's not awesome. That's insulting. And I'm sick and tired of John Fisher using the word intimate. I'm so tired of the word intimate. He used it last year. He used it this year. Here's what bothers me about the whole situation. If you have listened to me in the past, my whole priority in this whole thing has never been the politics of baseball. I can care less. It's always been the baseball team. And when I saw this team play in Sacramento for 2 of the 3 games, it looked like a lifeless team. It looked like a team without a home. And it looked like fans that did not know what to do. It was an eerie feeling. And I don't blame the fans. Sacramento, in my opinion, has some of the best sports fans in all of professional sports. I lived in Sacramento. I had season tickets to the Kings, and they were unbelievable. There was no reason for John Fisher not to use Sacramento. That was BS. It's having an effect on how the team looks. They do not have any type of home field advantage. It almost feels like they would rather be on the road. They're playing in front of people and not representing the city they are playing in front of. It's bothersome. They look like a team that played with zero heart. Fisher can make that change tomorrow if he wants. It's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. And like I said, let me pause here for a second to address this whole intimate ballpark that I've heard Fisher saying multiple times. Fisher saying that playing in a minor league stadium is the most intimate, positive experience anybody can have in Major League Baseball today. It's not intimacy, like I said. It's downsizing. The move to Sacramento is not the A's fault, okay? Lease negotiations with the city of Oakland was laughable. But for Fisher and the A's ownership, which is Fisher, not to use Sacramento's name, 100% their fault. And it's stupid, and it's dumb, and it does represent an owner who is not 100% there, 100% with reality and what is going on around him. And that bothers me. And it's affecting the play on the field. That was a team that did not want to play in Sacramento. That was a team that was uncomfortable. Last year was one of the worst seasons. Last couple have been one of the 2 worst seasons I've ever had watching the A's. And not necessarily because of all the losing, because of all the BS that is going on off the field. And it continues this year, not as much as a level as it is in Sacramento, as it was in Oakland, but it still exists. And Fisher's bringing a lot of that on himself. Now let's talk about Las Vegas for a quick second. Fisher says they hope to break ground on their new $1.75 billion dome stadium this summer. The plan is to build on 9 acres where the old Tropicana Hotel used to be, as all of you know, and it will be impressive when it's done, and it will get built. But am I going to sit here for another long year because of all the BS that's going on off the field? Sure looks that way. It sure looks that way, guys. And I'm getting tired, real tired. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters. That's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high quality products designed to support better health and peak performance. Just Ingredients offers an NSF certified line of protein power, electrolytes, pre workout, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they are free from substance banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF certified sports line to fuel his training and recovery. I love that Just Ingredients prioritizes wholesome, nourishing ingredients without the artificial junk. Whether you are recovering after a workout or need an energy boost, their grass-fed wheat protein and pre-workout deliver real results. Visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow at just.ingredients on Instagram. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they are packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Whether I'm stacking at my desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost, they are always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. The fact that Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein providing all 9 essential amino acids, how these little green wonders pack a protein punch, no shells, Wonderful Pistachios for that grab and go ease. The satisfying crack of opening each shell, it's like snack meditation. Whether you are running between meetings or dropping off the kids, Wonderful Pistachios are the snack that works as hard as you do. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Well, let's try to get to something positive on tonight's show, as it has been a fairly tough week for the A's. I did have a chance to go to opening night, and I fired off some pictures, took some video, and want to give you a point of view perspective exactly what went on and what opening night looked like for me. 2 p.m. I'm leaving the peninsula. Buckle in. It's opening day, baby. I'm fired up. I'm caffeinated, and I just left the peninsula. Destination, Sutter Health Park. Got my green and gold ready. Playlist is bumping. I've been to opening days before. Oakland, old school tailgate, barbecue, smoke in the air. San Francisco, buzzing like a city block party. Sacramento, well, we'll see. 4 o'clock, I arrive in Old Town Sacramento. I link up with a buddy in Old Town Sac. It's charming. Cobblestone streets, that old Western vibe, but it's quiet. Eerily quiet. It doesn't feel like opening day. No drums, no chants, no smell of bacon wrapped hot dogs, just calm, almost too calm. But I think, hey, maybe the party's closer to the park. I crack open a couple cold ones, then another, and spirits high, expectations reset. 5 o'clock, Tower Bridge walk. Time to make the trek. I cross the Tower Bridge, a golden lift bridge that feels like it belongs on a postcard. On one side, West Sacramento. On the other, the capital. On this side, me freezing. Wind cutting like a pitcher working the inside corner. Still, there's something magical about walking to a ballpark over a river. Every step builds anticipation, even if it's cold enough to make your fingers hurt. Field level, diamond view dugout, went all out for this game. VIP vibes now. I rolled into the stadium. Special entrance for diamond view dugout. Field level. You're basically in the dirt. Pink A's logo catches my eye. No clue why it's pink. Rivercats jerseys hang nearby. Feels like two worlds meeting halfway. Free stacks? Don't mind if I do. Cracker Jacks secured. Nostalgia activated. Now we're walking through the tunnel, field level. The golden glow peeking out the other end. I feel like Rudy sprinting out through the Notre Dame tunnel. Boom! I pop out. Eyes wide, my seat's right there. I soak it all in. This is it. Ooh.
It's pretty cool. I know. I told him that was my favorite ball game.
C12. How's it going? Oh, messed me out.
I like texting my boss. I'm like, hey, whatever happened to that? She's like,
Then I pop back up to check out the stadium. This part's important. You're seeing what I'm seeing. You're hearing what I'm hearing. There's something off. Something I need to break down for you after this moment. So stay with me because the context I'm about to give will tell you exactly what the issue was.
Quick question: those tickets don't grant me access to the So Long Club? B row one?
Yeah, because you're down in dugout, right?
Correct.
You're able to do that.
They denied me.
They did.
Yeah.
Dugout club, legacy. They said no legacy.
I went to them, two different people. Section B, row one. I showed them the ticket. Let me show you exactly what I got so we're on the same page.
Have you been downstairs yet?
I have. And I went back up and I thought I had access to the So Long Club.
And they said no.
They said no. Can we check or something?
You got this at the window?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me go check. I'm gonna go check.
Okay. I'll wait here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Good, thanks for asking. A little windy, huh? Listen, no rain.
Feels like a candlestick game.
Hey, good call.
So this is a good lesson for all of you that I learned. And if you are attending a baseball game in this new technology driven world, something to keep in mind. When you purchase a ticket, you are purchasing a ticket that will arrive in your MLB ballpark app. Okay. The ballpark app is something you need to download and something when you go into the game, they will scan and it's how you get in. It's basically your ticket. It's no longer the days of paper tickets, but several years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it exactly was, I had an issue with getting service on my phone and wasn't able to pull the ticket up on my phone and didn't have a paper ticket. So ever since then, I have made it a point to get a paper ticket. Plus, I like the paper ticket just to kind of keep for memories of where I was, what games I've been to, so forth. Here's the problem. The type of seat I had, being in the diamond dugout, being that close to the field, gave you access to every single other club. The problem is when I tried to access these clubs, the ticket did not have the appropriate scan, and it had to be taken from your phone, from your MLB ballpark app. I never downloaded it to my phone. I had the paper ticket. I thought I was good. So I was not able to get into these other clubs, these other amenities the ballpark had to offer. Even though the ticket showed where I sat. And if you actually saw the lady when she's saying she couldn't really understand, she knew where I was sitting, and she goes, "You should be able to get in." I tried to pull it up on my ballpark app and could not, for the life of me, get any type of service. Wi-Fi, forget about it. So I was stuck. To their credit, they did get me somebody that was able to help me, walk me up to the club I wanted to get into, etc. But it was about a good half-hour delay. It's partly on me. I should have downloaded that scan, that electric ticket to my phone. I should have done that. I didn't do it. I thought the paper ticket was plenty good. But again, something to keep in mind. Make sure you keep that in mind. MLB Ballpark app. If you're going to the ball game, everything is electronic now. The old school days of having a paper ticket is basically gone. Did it get me to my seat? Did it get me in the game? Sure. But there was other things that I did not anticipate, did not think of, that I was not able to access because they were not able to read the scan of the paper ticket and had to be done alone on your phone. So partially on me, but again, something to keep on mind. That's enough of that. Back to my seat for pregame festivities. Lights up. Mural of Ricky Henderson, Oakland royalty. National anthem hits. Then Jets scream overhead. Goosebump City. Even on a chilly night, that flyover will always hit different. And then, well, the game. Yeah, 18-3. That scoreboard got ugly fast. But here's the thing. Even with the weird energy, the cold wind, and the blowout loss, I was still there. Still part of something. It didn't quite feel like an opening day I've known before, but it was still opening day. A's baseball is back, and that's all that matters. That's all that will always matter. Tomorrow we shift gears. The A's roll into Colorado, and we're joined by Paul Holden from Locked On Rockies to preview their home opener. First pitch is at 1:05. You know I'll be live right after the postgame takes, win or lose. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I'll see you tomorrow.